tariffs overall can be an effective tool when used in quite a surgical way for trying to bring in sort of investment, particularly on manufacturing. And actually, we saw that under the Biden administration, use tariffs quite carefully. But even from the perspective of somebody who believes in the kind of mantra of protectionism, this kind of blanket level of tariffs is really utterly nonsensical, and it goes completely against the kind of proven economic theories of the last 100 years, where blanket high tariffs across the board from America have actually proved to have the exact opposite desired effect. And I think, the market reaction we've seen have really shown that actually these tariffs by Trump are an astonishing act of not only national harm, but global harm as well. But I think really, if you want to understand, why is Trump really doing this? It's not actually because he's trying to improve the deficits, even though it's something he's talked about for a long time. The reality is that these tariffs give Trump a huge opportunity for corruption. And actually, that is the reason why he's doing it. And simply, you have to look at the fact that governments everywhere and companies are all coming groveling to Trump, begging for some kind of exemption or alleviation from the tariffs. And Trump loves that. Trump loves people to be groveling at his heels, begging him to do some kind of action for their favor. It's all part of the kind of quid pro quo approach that he has. And it's utterly reckless, and it's going to cause the most devastating harm to not only the US, but actually the global economy, really for very little harm. And in reality, Trump is not going to cause huge amounts of investment back into the US, because America is demonstrating itself to be a completely unreliable partner. And which company or government is going to try to integrate their economies or businesses back into the United States when America is proving to be a completely unreliable partner and is capable of taking such extreme action? We've been talking about quite a lot that, America needs to return manufacturing. I'm not really completely convinced that actually Americans want to work in garment, factories, to be honest, like they did 50, 60 years ago. I'm not completely convinced they actually want to pay the kind of prices for those products that they did 50, 60 years ago. So I think ultimately Americans are going to face the realities, the hard realities that haven't been acknowledged by Donald Trump. And in the end, that I think is going to be a very difficult thing for Donald Trump and the Republicans to face.